Let's now talk about how this social media discourse and critical discourse analysis be integrated to get a deeper analysis of the text. According to Khosravinek, initially social media discourse was ignored. Largely, the traditional computer-mediated communication was ignored by the researchers in the field of mass media, uh, because they think it's a kind of interpersonal communication. People are chatting with each other, interacting with each other. So that doesn't mean anything significant to the society in general. It's their personal sphere, and we should not interfere with this. But this later on proved to be somehow a very myopic view of social media interaction, because it became a force in changing many trends in the society. As you can say, recently the trends on social media, especially on Facebook and Twitter and other similar platforms, they can change many things in a society. They create ripples based on certain issues. Recently, we have seen some kind of social media trends based on women rights, and some issues in the societies have changed government policies, have moved government into action, which was initially in a state of inactivity. But as soon as we found a trend on social media, on Facebook or Twitter, the government became mobile and they started taking action. Uh, we have seen this happening many times in recent years. So this is one clear example of the power of social media discourse and how much currency it has gained among the public. When mass media scholars in the beginning were ignoring the discourse of social media and computer mediated communication as something interpersonal communication, linguists have been curious about it right from the beginning. Even at the outset of social media communication, they started looking into it from some kind of uh, conversation analysis perspective, or from the perspective of interactional sociolinguistics, how people communicate with each other in certain societies, and how these forms and modes of communication vary from society to society. So it became an important and interesting area for interactional sociolinguistics, or you can also call it a part of international pragmatics also. And we can find then there is an emerging trend now, which proposes to look at such discourse from some kind of critical perspective also, which we can call socially purposeful perspective. So now we can find some kind of foregrounding of discursive practice in such discourses, and what kind of discursive practice is being followed by the generators, users, and contributors of a certain discourse on social media, and what kind of ideological or social parameters might be working behind it. This social tilt, roughly speaking, can be seen as a new trend in relation to research in the field of social media discourse, especially when we talk about linguists' interest into it. This new approach, however, distinguishes the traditional Faircloughian model of or thought of discursive practice, which thinks or invites us to scrutinize the process of the production of discourse, and also asks us to look into the consumption of such discourse. But this new approach now, which we are going through right now, focuses on is more action oriented, and focuses on looking into what kind of actions may be verbal actions the producers of content on web perform while they are enacting or sustaining, maintaining their identity on certain social media groups. What do they do when they want to assert or maintain a certain identity on social media? So this kind of actions, verbal or other actions, may be an important site for analysis in today's social media discourse. And this can be seen can be seen an angle in addition to Faircloughian angle, which looks at the process of production and distribution of discourse in the society. Well, we can see that in any form of critical discourse analysis, the context of data is very important. So in social media discourse, this is also important if we want to analyze it. Though it may become challenging to allocate context to data on social media in certain situations, but still, as I said earlier, this is important to be recognized and known and to be conveyed to your readers. But another additional point can be seen in form of some kind of observational or communicative practice, which probably would be more useful in analyzing interactive social media discourse or communication. So many people would argue these days that some kind of observational or communicative practice-based approach may be more useful instead of looking at it from process-oriented approach only. Barton and Lee, for that matter, would argue that we need to both look at the text and to observe users' lives and beliefs about what they do with their online writing. So we not only are concerned in an ideal form with what they write, but also how they write and what kind of ideologies and beliefs they hold when they write something. So we need to observe their lives as much as possible in order to decode the meaning of what they are writing on social media. An emerging trend of research in social media communication has started to move away from this mainstream calling for a shift focus to the social as the point of explication. By that we mean foregrounding society over technology in social media analysis, discourse analysis. So society, initially there has been more focus on technology, how technology is mediating, and a lot of debate about technology and its use would be incorporated when social media interaction is being analyzed, would be analyzed in recent past. Now people have started arguing that we should put, especially when we want to analyze social media discourse from a critical perspective, we should put society as the main priority. And technology may be relevant and should be relevant, but society should be given more priority, because putting our focus on the social perspective probably would make us reach to the real meanings or intended meanings of the speaker more efficiently as compared to technology only focus. Such socially oriented approach to social media discourse analysis would elaborate on the characteristics and circumstances of society in which such discourse has been generated, and would also allow us to look into online affordances or platforms or websites, you can say, and in which such contexts, such discourses are generated, and it would also help us to contextualize the discourses which are available on social media. So as I said earlier, contextualizing a social media discourse is an important component of its analysis, and it is only possible when we go for a combination of traditional and contemporary, or in other words we can say communicative approaches to critical discourse analysis.